Basically, it's a tournament where all the best players in the world from different countries and everything come in the same room and play the game that we all love.
I am Jay Spiller.
And I am Stoneforge Mystic.
It's just a really amazing game.
It's just mind-boggling to even think about.
I guess the rest is history.
Looks like we're going to be about 110 or so. So as long as we don't get 20 people show up in the last couple of minutes, we're going to be playing 7 rounds of Swiss, followed by our top 8.
We are at Gamerz in Greenwood, Indiana for a Modern PTQ for PT Barcelona. We're playing Modern here, so kind of in between Legacy and Standard. It's sort of the replacement for Extended. I am playing Blue-White Urzatron.
Ready to form Voltron. Activate interlock. Dynatherms connected. Infracells up. Mega thrusters are go. Go Voltron Force!
There was an old phrase that you have assembled Voltron, and so when you put together these 3 pieces to get all the extra mana out of it, they call it Voltron, so they call it Urzatron. The lands have Urza in their name, so they call it Urzatron. Based on the Urza lands, Urza Mine Tower and Power Plant, if you play one of each onto the battlefield, you get 7 colorless mana, so you get to ramp into big colorless spells like Karn Liberated and Mindslaver and Eldrazi, and it's just a load of fun to just toss big spells at your opponent all day. It feels like playing an EDH deck. You be on turn 6, you'll ramp up to big spells. I had a table today where I had Karn, Ulamog, and Kozilek all on the table, and it just feels great to play those big spells and just beat down with Eldrazi and just watch your opponents sort of squirm as they try and figure out how to deal with it all at once.
I chose to play red deck wins or burn deck wins for the day. Basically what we're trying to do is get as many 3 damage spells pointed to the head as your opponent as quick as possible. We have cards like Goblin Guide, Lightning Bolt, Shard Volley, Incinerate, Searing Blaze, Bump in the Night, Lava Spike. We have Dark Confidant for card draw, Grim Lavamancer for a little extra fuel in the graveyard, and Hellspark Elemental is kind of a recurring ball lightning. I believe early on in the season it's worthwhile to play. Most of the decks are typically aggro based. With the deck's ability to win on turn 4, especially against combo decks, it's almost always consistent turn 4 win. I actually think it's a great choice to play right now.
At the beginning of a PTQ season, especially in an unknown format like this, you always want to play an aggressive deck. People love playing control, myself included, but it's never really a good idea when you don't know what the format is. At first we saw Storm, so if you're playing a control deck and gearing yourself towards Storm, you're going to lose the Splinterton decks, you're going to lose to Affinity, you're going to lose to or whatever, Zoo, Jund, that sort of stuff. So you want to be playing an aggressive deck, and as far as the aggressive decks go, Splinter Twin is fairly cheap to build. It's a lot easier to play than Storm, and right now I think it's the best deck because it's seeing not a lot of hate, and it's just really powerful. It gets what it needs to do done pretty easily, pretty consistently every game. There's a lot of decisions to make, but as far as decks to play, I'd say it's one of the less difficult ones. You just sort of like wait for your opponent to tap out. You just wait till you get some dispels and you just go for your combo. And if it doesn't go off, you have enough combo pieces that you can just try again later. So it's a really good deck. Basically, it runs the combo Deceiver Exarch or Pestermite with either Splinter Twin or Kiki-Jiki to make basically a 2-card combo that you can cast at instant speed and just make infinite copies of Pestermite or Deceiver Exarch and attack your opponent. And you play just a lot of cantrips to find your combo, a lot of dispel type effects to protect it.
The deck revolves around 3 basic cards. Martyr of Sands, which will sack for 3 life per white card you reveal. Serra's Ascendant, which is when you have 30 life or more, a 6/6 flying lifelink, and Ranger of Eos to get them both. And there's other cards that go into it around there, but that's the sort of heart and soul of the deck. It is a grinding deck. You will grind out the game. You will gain 18 life, 15 life, 12 life, some number of life, until you get yourself above where your opponent can kill you. Ranger up some Serra Ascendants and start bashing in the air for 12 a turn. There's been 3 or 4 games today where I've had all 4 Serra Ascendants in play attacking for 24 points of damage a turn. There's 2 types of matchups, ones that it is great against and ones that it is terrible against. The ones that it is great against is any creature aggro-based deck. So a Zoo, Jund is pretty good. The matchups it's bad against are the combo decks. One of the things that we played that we didn't see in a lot of the MTGO decks that we based this deck off of was Horizon Canopy combined with Weathered Wayfarer. So Weathered Wayfarer saw some play. We were playing 2 of them as a way to win those long grindy games. Horizon Canopy as a way to quickly and easily draw cards that enables it to grind out some of those games.
In terms of raw power, the only other deck that comes close to matching it in the format right now is like Splinter Twin.
I guess, you know, Storm has some of that raw power, but it has no backup whatsoever. Like, this deck in Splinter Twin can actually win games where their opponent tries to interact with them. It also plays the single most broken card in the format, Cranial Plating. So I'm playing, I guess it's the red affinity deck. It's not mono red anymore, but it's the sort of, you know, Galv Trap Blast based affinity deck that I've been, you know, working with on Moto for the last couple of weeks. It's Cranial Plating and 54 friends. So you got 4 platings, 2 Steel Shapers gifts to find the platings. You've got Etch Champions, 4 of those to put a plating on, you know, build your own Invisible Stalker, Butcher's Cleaver, Constructed Quality. A bunch of the cheap artifact guys. Your other random finishers that sort of get there some of the time are Arcbound Ravager, Shrapnel Blast, and Galv Blast. And then the mana base is, you know, Mountains, Glimmer Voids, a couple of each of those. And then 7 Nexus and some Citadels. This deck's been reasonable like the whole way through. Like, it's the only deck from the top 8 of Philly that didn't have any cards banned from it. Zoo is like, it's legitimately bad matchup. It's not bad, it's just losable if they have, you know, if they have hate, you're probably behind. If they don't have hate, it's close. So like, that wasn't really the best metagame for it, but it's fine. But without Punishing Fire and Wild Nicottle, you're pretty far ahead without, you know, your opponent's packing hate.
I think it still needs a little bit of tweaking. I kind of avoided getting into it early on because of the prices and just there was a lot of bannings going on, so I didn't want to heavily invest in a deck and then have that kind of get banned. It's getting to the point where it's really balanced. I think we still need a couple bannings, maybe unbannings, just random combo decks, random aggressive decks from just showing up constantly and just taking over the format, you know, one deck at a time.
I love it. I think it's a great format. They've probably finally fixed it after the number of bans. I think they could probably ban Splinter Twin, but I think the modern format's a lot of fun. I think it's entertaining.
This format's amazing. I have a ton of fun playing it. I'm choosing this over the Grand Prix partly because of that. So,
it's a lot of different ways to play, and everyone has their own spin on it. It's fun to try and see if you can get on top with your take on the format.
Okay, judges are going to start picking up your list now.
Grasp of Darkness is 2 black mana for an instant to give target creature -4/-4 until end of turn.